They say, where you from? I say the 510. They ask me, do I keep it Ivy? And I say, yeah, for sure. I keep it real for sure. What? Baby, you already know. I ain't got no time, so please don't hit my line. I got that Titan pride. We from Skyline.
Oh, hi. Welcome to Cavecast, and I'm your host, Saeed. Here we have my counselor, Mr. Ohara. Hi, Mr. Ohara. I want to ask you about student culture. What has it influenced you as a counselor at Skyline High School?
It's a big question, and let me just say thank you, Saeed, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Right. Oh, thank you.
What has influenced me as a counselor? I think being a comprehensive school counselor requires a lifetime of experience. I actually hail from a family of educators, and while I did everything that I could possibly do to explore other opportunities beyond education, it just felt like it was what I was meant to step into. I don't know if you believe in fate or in destiny, but it is something that I feel like found me at a pretty early age in my life. So I consider it an honor, a privilege to be able to do the work I do.
That's good. I want to ask you, how many years have you been a counselor?
This is my 5th year working full-time here at Skyline, and I've been a counselor for 6 years, 6.5 years overall.
What makes you want to work at Skyline High School specifically?
I think when I first came out here, I grew up out in Vacaville, single-parent household, but a very different culture out there. Predominantly white, suburban, relatively affluent, right? And I think the opportunity that I had coming out here to step outside my box, my level of comfort, and kind of open up my perspective to the way that the world operates was important to me and very important to me 6 years ago. But over that time, I've just come to find that Skyline, this community is it's my family at this point in my life, right? And I feel like I've been successful in building a home here. And I'm passionate about what I do and with working with young people, particularly in Oakland, at a high needs school. Let's be true about that.
Yeah.
This is good work and good work worth doing, and I'm committed to that.
That's good. What do you know about our school that you would consider a strength and a weakness?
Let's start with the strengths. We're strength-based, right? I think that our diversity makes us powerful. I think being able to immerse yourself in a student population that is bringing in all different types of perspectives is an invaluable opportunity for us to grow up in a way that is meaningful and responsible and a reflection of the community that we love and that we live in. In terms of weaknesses, I think that there's a lot of things that could be said right now. I think we're going through a really difficult time in our history as a community. But I think the fact that we are an under-resourced, high-needs institution is an issue. And the fact that the things, the fiscal support, the physical resources that we've asked for have never been provided to us, even though we've asked. Whether that's an issue with the district or the state or just education in general in this country. The fact of the matter is that we are an under-resourced institution and we do not have a sufficient amount of support to do the work that we should be doing, that you all deserve to receive. So.
Yeah, okay. Do you know about the No Child Left Behind, and do you think it's a good idea?
I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert. All right, let's get that out of the bag, right? But I do know that No Child Left Behind had an unrealistic emphasis and potentially irresponsible emphasis on assessments. And when you try to understand a young person's, or an adult's even for that matter, someone's process of learning and their ability to absorb information if you're going to be testing everybody the same way, considering the different learning styles that we have, considering the different backgrounds and experiences we come from, how can we address all of those varieties, those differentials, through the lens of a single way of assessing a student's learning? That is a disservice, and I feel like that is a big part of why No Child Left Behind was ultimately a failure in terms of a program. Additionally, when paired with underfunded resources and insufficient resources, it was just unrealistic.
Okay. Most of our students know we have a mental health center, but would you recommend it to any students struggling with mental health?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Particularly coming out of the pandemic, we've seen a dramatic increase in students describing symptoms of depression, high levels of anxiety, all grade levels, everyone. I would highly encourage a student to seek out mental health support, whether that's through our cost team, a counselor, or really any adult on campus. Yeah, absolutely.
How would you think mental health is affecting overall?
I appreciate that question, right? In terms of student success, there are data indicators that we can look at. Attendance is the worst it's been since I've been here. When it comes to my specific senior class, I have the highest rate of what we call tier 3, and students struggling that may not graduate. And we're probably looking at the lowest graduation rate that we've ever had, again, at least since I've been here this year.
Okay.
So the data says that we are struggling, and that is absolutely related to the mental health of our students, of our families, of our community. And then beyond just academics, and just as a human being, not necessarily just as a counselor, I can feel the pain. So to answer your question, it's impacting us a great deal.
Feel about the fighting on campus?
I mean, it sucks. It makes me sad. It makes me angry. But keeping it in perspective is important. And the fact that we're coming out of a pandemic and emotions are running high, and if we're not able to develop ways to express these emotions in healthy ways that are advantageous for us, then those emotions will find a way out. They will express themselves. And I think that that's what we're seeing right now. These rise in frequency of conflicts is a product of those challenging emotions not being processed in a way that is beneficial to us, that is not helpful to us. And that is a product of not having the resources to provide mental health supports and counselors more regularly and easily accessible to students and families, right? And until we have those resources in place and we build a sense of trust and camaraderie, I think that these conflicts will continue, at least for the foreseeable future, which is terrible to say. But in full transparency, I do worry that this is not going away immediately or anytime soon.
Yeah, okay. What are your thoughts on the 12th grade grades having to do the college preparation classes?
Of 12th graders having to do college prep classes?
Yes.
Got it. OUSD adopted the A through G framework, and I know this is a review for you all because you have great counselors that give this presentation twice a year. But OUSD adopted the A through G framework, meaning the college admissions requirements into their own graduation requirements. This happened like 15 years ago or something. Ultimately, it's a product of a district-wide goal of increasing our 4-year college track rate. A lot of people agree with this decision. A lot of people don't agree with this decision. From my perspective, I think it's important that we are providing as much information to our students as possible about post-secondary planning. But with that said, I'm not going to sit down and shove a 4-year college track plan down everybody's throat. I am going to make sure that you are informed as much as possible about your options, that you have the tools available to you to make a choice and follow that path and develop that path together, hopefully. But in terms of college prep classes, I think it's important to challenge everybody. I think it's important to make sure that you have the information to make an informed decision about your future. And at the same time, we should challenge ourselves, right? We should challenge ourselves. So college prep and maybe some AP classes, if we're cool with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Ohara, for talking to us on Cavecast. I'm your host, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.